Welcome back. So far we've told you the secret to competitive college admissions, and we've talked about the 3 big mistakes to avoid. We've also explained the missing ingredient in most college applications. Now this is where you get to actually transform your profile using our incredible Blue Blaze database, which includes thousands of unique extracurriculars. We have something for everyone, whatever their area of interest and however much time they have to give. First, we're going to show you around the database, highlighting some of the important features. Then, in the next lesson, using our guided worksheets, we're going to help you use the database to select a small number of really fantastic activities with wow factor that are going to expand your mind, deepen your interest, and importantly, help you jump out of the pile and stand out from your peers. Let's have a look. So on our website, blue-blaze.com, simply navigate at the top navigation to the database and click Database. Now, if you haven't accessed it before, you'll see a password screen come up first. Simply enter the password that you were given previously in your email and also in the previous lesson of the course. If you can't remember it, don't worry. Hit pause, navigate back to the previous lesson. It's on the last slide. So you'll see the database is set up with entries for every single one of our incredible, unique extracurriculars. And each of them are depicted with an image and a short description, and as you'll see in a minute, when you click through, you'll see a full description of what it is. At the very top are different buttons that break all the different entries out by area of interest. For example, business, history, environment, English and journalism, etc. These usually correspond with a general theme that you might have selected as part of our previous lessons. If it does not, don't worry about it. Just simply click on one of the ones that appeals the most to you and that's most closely related to the theme that you selected. So you can also simply navigate the database by looking at all of the entries, which is the current format. So let's say you're interested, for example, in the environment. You would go ahead to the environment button, click environment, and the database simply selects everything that is in there that relates and is tagged to the environment. As you'll scroll down, you'll see that there are amazing activities, and each one of them has the title of the activity, but also importantly, right above it has a subtitle which tells you the category or the type of activity it is. And we'll explain these a little bit more in a second, but for the moment, you could see, for example, there is a biomimicry design challenge which has a subtitle competition, because it's a competition, for example. There's also a self-directed project which is called Water Quality Detective, which involves, doing a water sampling survey to help a global water quality tracking project. If you keep scrolling down, there are different activities that are competitions, some are summer courses, some are called unique extracurriculars, which are often things that are very short and quick to execute. Now, let's select one of these. For example, let's hit on Astro Ecology. Let's say you're scrolling through and think, gosh, that sounds really interesting. Astro Ecology is a unique extracurricular. It's a project which promotes conservation and helps save endangered species using imaging from thermal drones. So you can either click on the title or click on read more, and you end up going into the entry itself, where you find a much fuller description of what this unique extracurricular is. This is actually a really cool one. This is using publicly available tools. You're going to help astrophysicists, the Worldwide Wildlife Fund, and Liverpool University to automatically find and identify different endangered animals and track down their poachers. So you can simply go to their website and get started. It explains how to, and click on it. There's a general description of how much time this will take. And in this particular case, in this unique extracurricular, it's a very low time commitment. You can spend as little or as much time as you want. And then this is the really important stuff. If you decide that you're interested in this activity and you would like to start doing it, you're going to, in the next lesson, you're going to write it down and then consider whether or not there are any other spin-off activities or related activities that are along the same theme that might be interesting. So, for example, this suggestion here is that if you want to expand on this narrative arc, there's a couple of things you might want to look at in the database. One is to help preserve South Sudan biodiversity with a quick little citizen science project, and the other is about becoming a nature activist with the Nature Conservancy, which has all sorts of different time commitments. You can either click through to that entry directly, sort of following the path of your curiosity from this entry, or you can simply back out to the main listings and continue your search. One of the great things that we have here in this database is that not only can you click on the area of interest, as I mentioned before, environment, etc., but if you wanted to, for example, just look at how you would get published, for example, you are an English major or, a science writer, and you're really curious about how you could get published. If you want to, you can simply click on one of the categories, for example, publication, and it will pull out every publication opportunity that there is, irrespective of the theme. So, for example, if you clicked on publication, what you'll see is it pulls up the list of all the different types of publications across different areas and subject matters that are available to high school students. And by the way, there are loads, and this is an amazing category because actually a lot of these publications, believe it or not, allow you to use work that you've already created at school. And we'll get back to that in a later lesson. So it's no extra work. The final thing I wanted to point out to you is that we also have a tab here because one of the biggest questions we get asked all the time, which is how can we use our summer wisely? And summer programs are myriad, as you know. There are lots of different types. There's thousands of them all around the country and the world, and they all have different application dates. Some of them, as early as, September, October, November of the year before. But in any case, if you're particularly interested, for example, in summer programs, you could click on summer programs and start looking at activities that can be done over the summer, which, by the way, is often super useful because a lot of students, that's where they have most of their time available. And, when you look at our summer programs, again, all the different entries will tell you how to submit your application, etc. So that's a quick look at the database. What we're going to do right now is we are going to push pause, and you are going to download from the next lesson a super useful guided worksheet, and then you are going to go to the database yourself, start exploring and filling out the worksheet, and we'll regroup at the end and see where you've got to.